Today I have a deck profile for Blue Oob from the World Tournament. And then he's a swing lead, draw one. And then at 4 less life, you can untap 2 energy. And he goes into Oob Unknowing Power. And then when he attacks, draw one. And then his activate main to choose a life, add it to your hand. Bounce an opponent battle card back to their hand. And then he gains 5k. Really good at the end of the game, killing blockers and then boosting up your own leader to be able to swing in hard. And then up here we got 3 announcer play-by-play pro. He adds to the gate to be able to stop attacks, and then when you play him, if it's your turn and you have 2 World Tournament in play, you draw 2. So being able to generate hand advantage is really Oob's like main point of the deck. You want to be able to generate hand advantage and then being able to survive long so you can get out all the pieces from the World Tournament and then do big damage. And then we have Ever Curious to search all their pieces out. He's a top 7 searcher. And then you get to shuffle your deck, which is pretty important, I feel like, in this card game, so you can be able to just shift your deck around and being able to draw cards that might have been at the bottom of the deck. And then for other searcher, we run 3 Dende Astute Savior. When you play him, you look at your whole deck and then send any World Tournament card that's 5 or less to the warp, and then at the start of your next turn, you add that card back to your hand. And then he also has to activate main for 2 energy to send 1 World Tournament card with an energy cost of 3 or less, send it to the warp, and at the start of your next turn, you get to play that card. And then up here for our defense, we have 4 Sensu Bean and 4 Dimension Magic. Sensu Bean, classic in any blue deck, defend, untap energy, extend plays, or save your life, or even other battle cards. 4 Dimension Magic, it's the best blue 1 cost negate, being able to awaken in case they're trying to stall you out, and then untapping more energy. And then I run 1 Mafuba in this deck. It stops good big threats that people like to play out, like Raditz Secret Rare. If you can survive through it and then they swing in, you can Mafuba him, or the big 7-drop Kaioken Goku. And then over here we run 4 just of the blue super combos. It's mono blue just to be able, if you draw too many of them, you can charge it. And then our only overwhelm in the deck is 1 Scientist Fu. He's a good end of the game, draw 2, just try and swing in with that 25k double strike. And you can't get Denial of Hope or Vegeta the Cruel, which is really annoying when you're trying to play out these big pieces. And then we have 3 Awakening Talent Pan, 1 drop, take a life against 10k, and then at end turn, return it to your hand. Really good being able to awaken and then being able to pressure early games so your opponent's not feeling too safe. And then the main package of the deck, we run 3, 4, and 4. 3 of the Proudest Mother, which if there's no other World Tournament cards in play, you can reduce her in your hand by 2. And when you play her, you can also choose one of the Hercules and then play it from your hand. And then at the end of the turn, you're able to choose the Proudest Mother and place it on the top of your deck, and then search out the Proudest Daughter Pan, and then play her, and then shuffle that card into your deck. But this makes it really good because you can get both these guys out turn 2, and then the Hercules effect goes off where if Pan is played in your battle area, you get to draw 2 and then untap an energy at the end of the turn, and then Pan being a 25k double strike dual attack, which is a really nice threat turn 3. And then coming down here to our other packages, which I have set up weird. I'll go to this part first and I'll explain later. We run 3 and 3 of the Trunks and Atakasuki. They're both 15Ks for good pressure. And then Atakasuki being able to swing and then pop him with Trunks ability to being able to just KO an opponent battle card really helps to stop board. And then we run the Path to the Infinite to UI/Spirit Bomb. Path to the Infinite, you can activate main for 1 blue and send a 4-drop back to your hand, and then you can play him. So you can play him out from Atakasuki, which you basically play out for 2 energy, or from Videl or Proudest Mother. And then once you play him out, you can choose either of these targets right here. You can either choose UI for 2 energy and drop a card. He's a triple strike, 35k. And then when he evolves into a card, you send all opponent battle cards back to their hand. So this even goes through barrier because it doesn't say choose all. it just says return all. So it gets around barrier, so maybe deadly defenders, you can bounce back, and then you can't combo for the duration of this card's battle. So if they don't have a negate, they're just simply taking three damage. And then the other one is the Spirit Bomb. For 1 energy, you place 2 cards into the drop, and then he's a double strike, and your opponent can't activate counter during his attack. And then when he attacks, you can choose 5 battle cards in your energy and combo with them. This is literally the all-out. They can't negate it, and then they're at 2 life. You drop him, and then you just drop your whole hand and your whole energy on him. But sometimes, if you get to play off with KO Ken, you can play him off UI, where you can choose 2 life after you swing with one of the big threats, and then place him on top by only dropping 1 Son Goku. And then he's a double strike, and then when you evolve, you can't lose the game, and your opponent cannot win. So basically, he's the all-out. If you got 2 life left, you play him, use his activate main to take 2 life and switch him to active mode. And then, well, if his swing doesn't go through, you obviously lose. So that would be the whole deck. But in case you don't maybe per se enjoy the package, this main package to play out the big guys, there's a separate one you can play instead, where you can run 4 and 4 of the Test of Strength Oob and Goku, being able to play out both of them with Dende for only 2 energy, playing out the Goku the next turn, and then using his effect to play out the Oob, which is really good. And then you can just add defense with it, like add a Zeno button in case you're going against U6 Kaba, Raging Spirit for more defense and pressure. And then you run the 1 quick shift Boo if you do run it the deck this way, because you don't want these pans in your hand when you're trying to use Proudest Mother, because her effect only works if she's in the deck. So if you draw too many of them, you can use Boo, send them back, and then being able to use that. And then obviously the 1 secret rare. I don't really think you need the secret rare if you're running this package, because you have potentially 4 game-ending threats. But yeah, that's the deck. So let me know what you guys think. Here's the overview of it. And then, yeah, like I said, you can choose any way if you want to run the top one with UI and Trunks, or with the Goku Oob secret rare kind of combo. Thanks for watching.